Hey, how you doing? Facebook family and friends and my YouTubers. Yeah, I see it. This is me, your boy Mike, once again coming from the truck, coming from work, doing what I gotta do. I'm back at it again. Okay. And like I said again, welcome to Voluntarily Venting. And I'm venting from the truck, just venting. Alright, see I'm at work. Okay, I'm at work. Bam. There's some trucks right there. This is what I do. Man. Listen, quick. I come to you because things run through my mind, and then when it run through my mind, I got to vent. Sometimes I talk about it. Sometimes I don't. A lot of things I have been doing. I haven't been going on Facebook a lot. I haven't been doing a lot of things, far as venting like I used to. But give me some time because of what I was going through. I'm doing what I got to do now. So I'm doing it from the truck. And quickly, I want to say a couple of things, right? Some things run through my mind. All right? Not to cause problems or anything. It's just me thinking. Let's think. Why do we get married, right? We get married for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, until death do us apart. Those are the vows that we take. Are those the vows that we stick to? No. All right, ladies, quick question. If you get married to a man and they say the lifestyle you live and this and that and this, because he brought you to that, then you break up, you sue him, or you get half. Is it fair? To me, I would say no. I just want to know, if you get half of his money and you start a business, shouldn't it be he get half of that? Or he get his money back, or you pay him his money back? He started the business. Just food for thoughts. But let's talk, seriously talk. Let's not talk about breaking up, you know what I'm saying, because it's so much happening. But let's talk about the demise, and what I mean by the demise of the black men in the family. Ladies, y'all got to really understand one thing. You have to give that man that position back. And men, you have to stand firm on your position. You know what I'm saying? You have to stand firm on that ground that you so-called shaking. You got to stop it to shake. Because a woman would maybe, just me, will allow you to do what you got to do as a man. Now, does a man take care of all the bills? For what I was coming up and raised, yes. But the bills that he take care is food, clothes, and shelter. Not your motherfucking hairdo. Not your credit card that you can calculate. Not your nails and fingers and none of that shit to be done. A man don't take care of all that. Because that ain't what he was built to do. He was built to bring forth food, clothes, and shelter. And any other added bills, this is why God made woman a helper, to help him out. So it's like for one hand wash the other. And at this point, times is getting so hard. Whereas though, yes, it needs true income. Back in the days, times were hard, but they made way. See, our $1,000 was $1 back then. You know what I'm saying? Because back then, sometimes our parents didn't make much. And rent probably was 37 cents. Rent probably was $5.25. Rent probably was $10 and shit like that. And they came home with $1.50 a fucking week. Or maybe $2.50 a week. Just imagine that shit. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Or came home with $25 a week. I'm just saying. Just think about that. So our $1,000, $1,500 now was their thousands and $1,500 back then when it was 25 and shit like that. But they made it. They made it through. You know what I'm saying? And as time went on, you know what I'm saying, they increasing the rent because of so forth. So it made it easier. You know what I'm saying? It made it harder. And again, get back into y'all positions. Okay? And a lot of this fighting and stuff will probably stop. A lot of this killing will probably stop once everybody get back into their rightful position. Listen, it ain't about going out here trying to talk to a man to be a man at this point. It's about talking to the men and women in your household first. Put your household in order. If iron sharpen iron, that means a kid teaches a kid, an adult teaches an adult. Adult teaches a kid. And I say that to say this is that if I teach my kids the right way, right, then they're going to go and tell their friends what to do and make it the right way, no matter how their friends look at it. I remember me personally when I was in the house and young men used to come in the house with their hat on. Now, kid's mother, my future, used to always say, she never used to tell them to take their hat off. Why? Because there wasn't a man around. I'm telling them to do that. So I started telling them to take their hat off. Some kids used to get mad. Man, well, you're not coming in here. I don't care who you is. Then they used to look at, my future and be like, I gotta do that. If my future would have said, nah, y'all don't gotta take your hat off, then me and her would have had a problem. But immediately she said, he's the man of the house. And ladies, it's not that the man is trying to come in between anybody or anything. It's that he's just sitting there saying that his job is to do certain things. Right? It's his job to do certain things. So give him that. Now, again, just think about it. Where we get lost at. If our kids can call us mom and dad, why they friends can't call us Mr. and Mrs. Steady calling us by our names, like on a first-to-first basis. Good as to say, they know me. Now, a lot of kids don't say Mr. and Mrs. So I teaches my kids at this point because it's such a disconnect that the kids that the people I grew up with, my kids see him, that's uncle or auntie. Because it's like the people that we grew up with tell us quick, oh no, don't call me Miss such and such. Not knowing that we actually making a disconnect with the kids and everybody. So we actually giving them the tools to say, you don't gotta call him Mr. Williams or Mr. Johnson. We giving that tool. So I tell my kids, because they be like, don't call me such and such. I knew a woman had grandkids and told her grandkids don't call her grandma. Why? Why not? Your kids that made your grandmother. You done had kids. Duh. But then the kids are coming in and call you by your first name on first basis, where there's no Mr. or Mrs. to it. Yeah. There's no Mr. or Mrs. to it. It's just, oh, how you doing? Right? And so forth. as they don't know these things. So that's why disconnect come in. And I'm just saying is that if we put that back in order, we will find some kind of connection. You know, that's Mr. Williams. Come on, Dad. No, that's Mr. Williams. And you have to accept the fact that you are a Mr. and Mrs. You always is in that ramification now where you got to accept the fact of who you are. Because if you don't do, what you think they're going to do? And then when they come to your house, how you doing, Mike? How you doing, such and such? That kid has no respect for you. And you wondering why your kids' friends don't have respect for you at all. And then when they curse, oh, Mom, but you know, he cursed in front of his mother like that. Well, and we don't say nothing, we should address that. This is where we lost that. So how can we connect back with the kids? This is where we lost them at. Because it's little small things like that. Because we start losing ourselves. See, the 60s and the 70s was black power. The 80s and the 90s was who got power. The 2000s and so forth is that person is in power. Now, who's in power? You know, and everybody's trying to do a come up. There is no respect in that matter. We don't respect ourselves, and we definitely don't let our kids respect us. How can we go out here and talk to these young men who's doing these killings and these young ladies that's getting pregnant? Talk to them when we don't even address the issue at home. Walk, because you know what? Because we get afraid. We are scared to address the issue at home. That's like a preacher preaching the word and letting their kids do everything under the sun in their house. How can a preacher preach the word and let this go on in their house? Smoking and drinking and so forth. You know? Well, we lost contact on a lot of things. We need to get that contact back. We need to start knowing and understand who is who, where they really stand at, why you really here. And we men can get back our positions. You know, you ladies can get back your position. So just think about that. You know, start having your kids to tell their friends to call you Mr. and Mrs. This is why if these young girls call me by my first name, then they feel as though they have a connect with me. If these young men feel as though they could call you ladies by your first name, they feel that they have a connection with you. And then all of a sudden, here's the manipulation going on. Well, he's a grown man in the inside. No, he's a child. Need to be taught. She's a grown woman. No, she's a child. Need to be taught. Because we have these one-on-one basis. My daughter can call me dad, and my son can call me dad, but their friends can call me by my first name. No. So on that note, I said, you know what I'm saying, just make it happen. Get at you. Peace. Montelli Vinton, just venting.